Welcome to another edition of Yorkshire Kris Weekly, coming up in today's episode. Now today I'm going to plant up the banking that goes down to the pond. Quite a tricky site. Last year I had the Untitled bananas that covered both this area and further around the pond, and that was okay. But my issue I have is it's a very steeply banked border, and when you water here, basically you get loads of runoff into the pond, which is not good for the pond. But I need obviously the water for the plants here. So it didn't work brilliantly work with the insects last year. So what we're going to do this year is I'm going to plant a palm tree. So there's going to be a Butia area spacer planted here, and that will need a good soak to begin with, and it will need watering, but it will get its roots really far in and it will establish and be a permanent plant rather than having summer bedding on this area which needs constant watering. So once it's established after a year, it shouldn't need lots and lots of water. Also in this area I'm going to try to fit in a Yucca and another arid plant just to finish the look here. I will put a little bit of bedding at the top where it's a bit straighter and less of a gradient. So let's get the area spacer and we'll plant it in this soil. Just to recap, this soil here is all the really good topsoil and turf that was in the middle of the garden where the pond was. None of the heavy clay at all. This is the deepest soil I have in the garden. It's a good 60 centimetres of proper topsoil before it goes down to the awful clay underneath. So it's nice, deep, good topsoil. I will put a bit of fertiliser in here as well, but it doesn't need extra dressing and manure and things like that. It's really good soil. It's not really been cultivated because it was turfed beforehand. So right, let's get planting. So this is what I'm planting into, and it's really good top quality topsoil, but it's also got quite a lot of sand in here, so it's really free draining as well. Gone down 40 centimetres here, the deepest part, and that is dry. A little bit of moisture, but pretty much bone dry, so it drains really well. Plenty of sand in here because there's lots of building work around the pond and stuff, and there's loads of sand left over, so it all mixed into this topsoil when I made this bed, and plenty of grit as well. So the Butia area spacer should love it. And the Butia itself, it comes from the Brazil, and it grows on silver sand, so it appreciates lots of really good drainage. But with the extra nutrients of this clay soil, it should grow really well. And it's slightly in an exposed position here, but it doesn't mind that. It's got pretty tough leaves, so let's get it planted. So there we have the Butia placed in the planting hole. It's pretty dry in the root ball, so before I backfill the hole I'm going to soak that, put the hose pipe in and just leave it for about 10 minutes, fill up the hole with water, give it a really good soak, then let that drain away a bit, and then backfill with the topsoil. And for those of you that watch all my videos, you may have noticed there's a plant missing just to the right there, and that is the Asteria silver spear that we moved a month or so ago. I divided it and put one there and one over there, but it was looking really straggly, wasn't looking a neat plant, and it wasn't really happy having been moved, which is always a risk when you move Asterias. So I decided to get rid of it, and I'm glad I have, because I think it's going to look really good with this Butia in this place. So time to give it a soak, backfill, and then job done. So that's the Butia area spacer planted. I think it looks really good from this side and also from this side. It's really important, it looks good all the way around really, because you can walk around both sides of it. Like I said, it's an pretty exposed position here, but it gets maximum sun all year round, and like I said, it shouldn't be much trouble with the winds. It's quite resilient, these leaves, and I think it's a good position for it. I will give that a bit of seaweed spray just to invigorate it a bit. And just looking at the spacing of the plants here, so we've got the Butia in the middle. I've got a couple of tiny tracheas over there, so I think the spacing is about 1.5 meters between the Butia and the nearest trachea. And on this side we've got the single stemmed form of Cumops humilis just by the bridge down there. And again, that should be just far enough away so it's not impacting on the view of the leaves crossing over each other when they grow up. So really pleased with that. Now it's time to start planting on this side. So what I'm planting on this side of the bank, again got the same problem of the steepness, is a Yucca. And this Yucca is called Yucca baccata, super sweet. And it's called super sweet because the seed pods that it forms, the fruit, can be eaten. It's meant to taste really nice. So we'll see if we get any fruit off this Yucca. And you can see the root ball, it's nice and moist. I've watered this really well. Loads of fresh white roots all around here. I'm just going to plant this. Again, it's pretty gritty in here. I've added a bit of extra grit into this planting hole. And we're going to plant it like so. I'm going to backfill out with the soil. I'm not going to add any extra compost or manure because it doesn't need that. And as you can see over here, I've got a great big Yucca that's very happy there. Hopefully just next to it, this Yucca baccata should also be at home as well. And what I like about this Yucca are the leaves. It's got these little curls on the edges of the leaves, like the Yucca Saxonia. And it's got like a purpley bluish tint to the leaves, and the sort of curl, they're not straight, they're sort of curved back and twisted as well. And because it's spiky, it doesn't matter that it's near the pond because there's nobody walking past that side, and it shouldn't interfere with people walking past on the bridge. Right, time to backfill. And there we have it, finally planted. So last week I showed you the micro irrigation system I set up with all the sprinklers that go around the garden, like a test run. Well, this week I've gone a bit further and I've set up a dripper system for the tree ferns. So I'll go and show you that. Just go past this huge T-Rex here and go through to the tree ferns, and you can see they're rather wet, and that is because in each of the tree ferns, in their crowns, we have a dripper. So if I just pull this one out here, it might get a bit wet. You can see the water spraying out, and I've placed that into the crowns of each of the tree ferns, over here and round here. And as well as the tree ferns, these drippers can go into the main supply pipe. So if we look under here, you can see down there there's water coming out there to water the bamboos, and they're just in the main supply pipe. On the tree ferns themselves, they are supplied by this micro tubing that goes down the trunk, and then over there you can just see there's a hole punctured in the main supply pipe, and the micro tube goes into that, and then that all feeds through and set up its own little system. So if we go back to the main tap, just round here, you can see that I've got two pipes coming off. So I've got a splitter here from the main tap, and then one's for the drippers and one's for the micro sprays that go in this area. So I can just switch between them, so I can turn the micro drippers off, put on the sprayers, and there we are. We've got the sprayers in this area now, watering all this bed. Turn them off, put the drippers back on, and you can follow this pipe round, goes all the way around the garden, goes to the tree ferns, and also it goes down under where the bamboos are, and you can see it's watering the bamboos as well. And water comes out at far less rate in these compared to the sprayers, so I'll leave this on for an hour or so just to give it a nice soaking where the plant needs it at the roots. So I'm really pleased with this system, and I'm going to continue adding more micro irrigation around the garden. Saves me hours of watering. So thank you for watching this week's edition of Yorkshire Kris Weekly. That brings us to the end of this series of Yorkshire Kris Weekly. So I've got the rest of the summer to relax, carry on enjoying the garden, and I'll be back in autumn for a new series. I'll do a couple of summer specials, so we'll do a full garden walkthrough in a month or so time, and I'll do a couple of one-off episodes, but this is the end of the weekly series. So enjoy the summer, enjoy your garden, and we'll see you in autumn when we're thinking about winter.